on, guys? Welcome back to the Barrens Hideout Podcast. I'm Dustin.
I'm Anna.
I'm Little D.
Hey, little D.
Little day.
Hey.
Little D. Oh, we are back for Tales from the Barrens number 13. Pretty fucking excited. This is a solid lineup we got for you tonight. And I always say this every time, but these are three very different shorts tonight. Really curious as how this is going to go. But for those that are new here, we take these short films and we take them to what we call the scare scale. The scare scale stands for story, creature, atmosphere, runtime, and effect. We rate each one from a 0 to a 1, giving us as something out of 5 for our total score for each short. And this is also a disclaimer. Run there! Run there! We walk through the shorts. We tell each other about them, even though we all watched them, but we like to get enthralled with the story. So if you want to go watch these shorts, they're all over on YouTube.
They are.
Go watch them.
And the link down below, too.
Yeah, Lil D will link everything down below. Go watch them, then come back and listen to what we think about it with our breakdowns. But tonight, Little D brought a short called Hangman. I brought one that's called Every Time We Meet for Ice Cream, Your Whole Fucking Face Explodes.
Hell yeah.
And then Anna brought one that's called Fragile.com. Really excited for all three of these. And without further ado, Little D is going to kick us off tonight.
All right. So for this week, I was trying to go in a different direction. And actually what I typed in, because like, you know, I want to throw kind of a curveball into what we've been doing or what I've been bringing to the table for these shorts. Unfortunately, I couldn't really find what I was looking for, but what I was typing was like very depressing horror short. I wanted to get something that was gonna fuck us up emotionally.
Yeah, I think I brought that.
Yeah. And I just couldn't find anything. I was like, I don't know. So I just kept scrolling and I was watching some stuff, and then I came across something called Hangman. I was like, Hangman. And it's a picture, the thumbnail is a picture of the Hangman, game where you draw a little thing, you got to figure out the word is. If you get it wrong, you got to draw a little stick figure. I was like, okay, this seems interesting. Let's check this out. And the short, it's very short. It's less than 5 minutes. It's like 4 minutes and something. I forgot to write down the amount on it.
Yeah,
but we open up with a girl. We see the back of her, and she's facing a wall. And she's got a little note, and it says, "Will you play with me?" And she just kind of crumples it up. And then what I used to do as a kid, I don't know if they still do this. Maybe they do. But you get like an old like can that you used with like, I don't know, canned vegetables or whatever, and you take off the wrapper and then you tie strings to it so that way you can like talk to somebody across the house or whatever. So she puts the little note in this, and then she throws it out her door. And this short is essentially just in her bedroom, so we don't really see anything else other than her bedroom. But she tosses it, and then she goes to bed, waiting for a response. As she's laying in bed, we see from a POV from outside of her door where the string is being moved away into the darkness, and she's in the light on her bed. And we start hearing ringing, which I thought was kind of cool. Was like, you get these little tin can things. Obviously, they're not going to ring like a phone, but this one started ringing like a phone. So she picks it up, and then she starts talking to whatever this thing is. We don't know exactly what it is. It could be an entity. I thought it was going to be someone across the room. I don't know what her intentions are, which is what I kind of like about this. Is like maybe she was trying to talk to somebody on the other side or whatever. But she answers it, and we get like creepy, like, hello, like a creepy girl voice, and she like tosses the note back to her, but instead it's the hangman game. And she's saying, like, you need to guess what my name is. Otherwise, I'm going to claim what is rightfully mine. And she's like, I don't really understand what this is. But yeah, sure, I'll play. And for those of you who know, the hangman game, like I said earlier, is like you have to guess whatever the word is. And then,
Wheel of Fortune, but with a hangman.
yeah. And
You
at the
draw
end,
a head, a body.
yeah,
arms,
and if you
legs.
complete the hangman, you lose the game. So in this instance, she's writing it, and she keeps getting closer, and we just keep going, like, wrong letter, or no, and she's like repeating these things back.
Yeah, there it is.
Yes, again. Like, very, like, high-pitched, like, witchy noise, right? That's how I get from this. So she's guessing it, and she gets a couple right, and she's like, oh, okay, I'm getting close. But she has one piece left to the hangman. And once again, we don't see anything other than our main girl and what she's writing, and we hear voice. Mm-hmm. I kind of like that, how it's very simple, very just cut and dry. Here we go. Let's get enthralled in this and see what's going on. So she goes and she guesses. She guesses wrong, and she completes the hangman. And
You lose.
you exactly that voice. You're doing it way better than me. So that happens, and then our main girl is getting like choked and pulled to the ceiling and dies.
Yeah,
And that's her short.
She gets hit with the Shang Tsung. She goes, "Your soul is mine."
Bang.
Done. So it's a very short, but I liked how direct this is. So let's go right on over to the scare scale. The story, as minimal as it is, I'm going to give it a 0.75. I kind of would have liked a little bit more background as to what the intentions of our main character was. We don't know where she is, if this is her house, if she's at a hospital somewhere. We don't really know anything. Creature, I'm gonna have to give it, unfortunately, a 0 on that. I wanted there to be something, but all we get is a voice, and I just don't know if I can say, yeah, that's a creature, without physically seeing something. The effects, I'm sorry, the atmosphere, I dug the atmosphere. I'm going to go ahead and give that a 1. I kind of like, being isolated. It's all dark outside your room. You have your light. You're in this room, and you're talking through a tin can with this being. I think is really, really cool. Runtime, of course, it's going to be a 1. It's below 5 minutes.
What was your rating for Creature?
A 0.
Okay.
And then for the effects, it's really just, I'm just going to tilt my head, and that's that. But the raising I thought was really cool. But I'm going to go ahead and give that a 0.25, which leads me to a 3 flat. I did enjoy this. I definitely wanted more. This probably could have benefited for a couple of extra minutes of leading up to why she's doing this, or maybe us getting a reveal of what this thing actually is. But for what it is, I was like, you know what? You guys tried. I can definitely tell that this was made on like probably no money at all. Like, I'm just gonna set up my camera, and there we go.
Great, yeah.
But I thought they did a really good job. So I guess I'll sling it on over to Anna.
I feel very similar to you on this one. I do feel like I needed more from it, but that doesn't mean I didn't enjoy it. Seeing stuff like this is kind of a reminder that anyone can make a short. Like you said, this is probably someone with a newer iPhone or some kind of, easily accessible recording equipment, a friend, and a voice. And I gotta say, I watched that short on my phone instead of on my TV, and I don't know, the sound design for the voice and everything was really great. Like, I thought
it was.
It came through different than the girl You know, it actually sounded like she was on a phone, and it kind of echoed. You know, I enjoyed that. So the story I'm going to give a 1 to because this is a scene out of a movie for me. This is
Okay.
a girl from a family who they kind of, you know, go back to ignore it. It's a family experiencing some kind of entity, and now tonight it's in the daughter's room, and she's going to make it play hangman, and maybe they wake up the next day and find her dead and realize that, oh shit, it's something's happening, you know.
She
So
played the game.
yeah, this is, you know, why is hangman down here? And then they have to piece the pieces together. This entity died by hanging. You know, it's a hanged witch or something.
And then Samara Weaving comes walking out.
Yeah, exactly. So I dig that. I just needed more. I like the premise. And creature, I actually am going to give a 0.5 to, just because of the voice. I really enjoyed the voice, and I could tell that the voice actor, if you want to call it that, if you know,
why not?
if they, you know, was great and was creepy and added to the atmosphere, which helps me give the atmosphere a 1 because it is creepy as shit, even though we don't really see anything. Mm-hmm. The tension's there and that dread is there because we don't want her to lose either. We've played Hangman. We were all kids once, you know. Runtime is also a 1 because it's super short and it does its job, especially for that runtime, that short of a runtime. And effects, I'm giving a null to because, you know, there just wasn't really any. I feel like I gave all my points for that, for the creature with the 0.5. I could probably separate that to 0.25 in each category. Sure. But there was just no effects. There really wasn't. Not to me. It was very plain, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. It was a short, an easy short. So that gives me a 3.5 altogether.
Nice. Big D.
All right. So for me, man, Anna hit it right on the head. This is a cold open for a horror movie.
Oh, okay. Even better, a cold open.
Yeah, okay,
I dig that too.
This is like a 4 minutes and 54 seconds, but 7-minute cold open of what's happening in this universe happened at the beginning of this movie. Mm-hmm. I did like that we were in and out, but what I wish we had gotten more of was what was in the closet or why it was in the closet.
Yeah.
So for me, my story is going to be a 0.75.
Okay.
My creature, I'm right there with Anna too. I love where it has like this fucking Bane voice going on in the can. The can gave it some type of echo distortion. It sounded really creepy.
Okay.
I'm right there with my creatures, a 0.5. Atmosphere, it didn't care too much. I mean, this short moved so fast that I didn't get time to settle in. Like, she guessed 6 letters in a span of 20 seconds. Mm. You know what I mean?
Did, so
it was like almost like there was no dread buildup until the very last letter. But I wished it was spaced out, or there was maybe 1 or 2 more interactions between her and the can before playing.
Go kick the can.
Yeah. So my atmosphere is a 0.5.
Okay.
Runtime, short and sweet. It's getting a 1. Easy peasy. This is one, though, that it should have been 7 minutes.
I agree on that.
Give us 2 more minutes, and then it would have been flushed out, and that'd be that. And the effects, it's a 0. There is nothing to judge off that. So that gives me a 2.75.
Okay.
For this short.
All right. No, I definitely agree that it probably could have used more. And, I guess I kind of like that you guys take just a voice being a creature. I kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I don't know. I just wasn't feeling that for some reason.
A 3.1 overall.
Nice.
Perfect.
Okay.
Cool.
It's above average, slightly.
Sounds good. That's recommendable.
It's recommendable, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to go next, and I brought a short film to the table from Anthony Cousins, which Anthony Cousins, he is not new to this show, let alone this podcast. If you guys are brave enough to go and venture back to our very first Tales from the Barrens episode. We did a short called The Bloody Ballad of Squirt Reynolds.
He did that.
He did that, but he did Frogman.
Yep.
Oh,
and
okay.
if you want to venture even further, I don't know if you were part of this, but I did interview him. He's
I
on
wasn't
this.
here for that. Yeah.
He's
Oh,
on this
wow.
podcast somewhere being interviewed about Frogman.
Yeah, but I brought a short because I bought the TerrorVision Blu-ray, and I got into the special features, and his special features of that Blu-ray had 3 shorts on it. It had The Bloody Ballad of Squirt Reynolds, one that I can't remember the name of, but then the last one is Every Time We Meet for Ice Cream, Your Whole Fucking Face Explodes.
Such a great title.
It's based off a short novella called Every Time We Meet at Dairy Queen, Your Whole Fucking Face Explodes. But so the short opens up with this little boy getting a sandwich or something smeared on the back of his hair. Dude, that bully ass kid that's sitting behind him this whole time, you just want to punch him right in the face.
Punchable face.
Door opens up and you hear like the angelic sounds of this girl, short, blonde, young girl walking on the bus. But then
Cute.
she's cute. What they say, that she's cuter than a button.
Cuter in the button, yeah.
She turns around and she's got scars all over her face, and the kids are just pointing and laughing, not knowing why the fuck she has these scars. They're just laughing at her. They're making fun of her. They're being assholes. Right?
Kids
And they're
be kids.
And they're pretty much Forrest Gumping her, dude. Like, she's walking by and all the kids are scooting, can't seat here, seats taken, type of thing. Not our boy. He scoots over real quick. Sit down next to me, baby. Gets off the bus and you see him with a little letter and he crumples that shit up, dude, and he fucking hurls it at her. And she picks it up and the note says, "Will you be my girlfriend? Yes or no?" Plain and simple, cute as shit, little kid stuff, you know? She runs back up to it, doesn't walk, she runs, bites her finger,
Yeah.
and uses her blood to draw a little heart over yes. Now, we are probably 2.5 minutes into the short, and there's nothing said. It's
Yeah.
all visual acting. All the way up until they go to this cool little ice cream stand. You know, and one thing I really liked, and I was talking to Holly about this, is the color palette of this short film.
It's beautiful. Yeah, I thought that too.
Very Eastery.
Yeah.
With the pinks and the blues and the yellows and the whites. Everything is like, nothing is a dull color. And for that reason, reasoning for that is, the little boy walks up with ice creams and she takes hers and they sit down and they start eating. And he goes, "You're really pretty." And you kind of notice like something start to happen. Like she's like twitching a little bit. And she's like, "You don't think I look funny? I'm not, I don't fucking amuse you. I'm not no clown or nothing." He's like, "No, nothing you do scares me or nothing." And he puts his hand on hers. Dude, her face explodes.
Yeah.
And because these colors are so vibrant in this short, like the red, when it like splatters everywhere, dude, and he has that chunk of whatever just on his face, and
Yeah.
it down to the ground, dude. It's so funny. And you see, like, it pans down to like her ice cream that she dropped and her eyeballs in it. But what I love are those 2 other little girls that are sitting back there. One of them goes, "Yeah, don't eat that."
Yeah, I like
that
that
was
too.
funny.
Yeah.
Next day rolls around. Same scenario. Girl walks onto the bus, but this time she has stitches. Like you see like the line in her face of her face getting sewn back up. Kids are just being dickheads to her again. Buddy's real excited. He scoots over and she's so embarrassed that she sits like 3 seats up from him, thinking he wants nothing to do with her anymore or anything. Goes to lunch. They're in the lunchroom. She's sitting by herself across the cafeteria, and Buddy's just sitting there eating his lunch but staring at her. But then there's that guy that sits next to him who looks like he's like 28. Like, why are you in this middle school lunchroom? And he's like, "You know she's weird, right?" And the kid's like, "I don't care. You know she has spiders in her hair, right? And he's like, I don't give a fuck, dude. You know they say she's an alien. What? What do you mean? Running down the hallway, Buddy's at his locker putting shit away, and she scoots past him real quick. And he's like, hey, you know, let's talk about yesterday. And she's like, you don't find me grotesque? And he's like, no. She goes, well, it'd be okay if you don't want to be my girlfriend anymore. And he goes, that's not what I'm asking at all. Goes right back to the ice cream stand. Little boy walks up, or no, he hands her a heart locket. He goes, I got something for you. And hands her this heart locket. And, you know, she starts, like, getting excited because she explains what, you know, that happens when she gets excited. And he's like, all right, just calm down. Breathe. Yeah, just breathe in and out. And you see, like, her face, like, you know, start to unglow. And he's like, all right. Then it goes over to the ice cream stand. And he's standing there with ice creams. And she walks up. She goes, you know you can kiss me if you want. And he goes, last time I put my hand on you and your face exploded. She goes, she's like, well, it doesn't really hurt anymore. You know, it's really okay if you want to do it, you know, and just being over, she's over explaining because she's excited. But you can start telling because her eyes start glowing, her face starts glowing. And she leans in for it, dude. She leans in for the moochie. Goes in, puts her lips on his lips. Her face explodes. And she backs up. And she has this skeleton face. And it cuts over to the little boy. And he has the same skeleton face. And then they kiss teeth.
Yeah.
They put their teeth together, dude. It is so fucking cute. And then it zooms out in a heart, you know, like on the two of them. And that's the end of the short. So, we're going to head over to the scare scale. My story. I'm giving this a 1. It's a cute little story, and it's a point A to point B. You don't need anything else in between. We're giving a little bit of what we think her family's about, because the kid's like, yeah, they say her dad does experiments on her.
Yeah.
They don't fucking know that, dude. Like, so I like that. You get enough to understand the concept of the story. The creature is also a 1 because I like the skeleton face at the end. I like the scars. Like, this isn't the first time this has happened. It's not going to be the last time either, you know? So getting to see that stuff is pretty neat too. And I actually I liked it more when she was sewn up the second time, when you see the stitching. I like that a lot because it just shows the imperfection of it. Atmosphere, I'm going to give a 0.75 to. I like the little ice cream stand, and I like the school setting. But that's really about it. That's all I gathered from it. Runtime, it's right a smidge over 7 minutes, and that's a 1 for me. And the effects, again, I really like the scarring. I like the alien face at the end. I like when she explodes and there's that chunk of shit just sitting there on his face and it plops off.
Yeah.
That's a 1 for me.
Damn.
So this one is a 4.75 from me.
Hell yeah.
All right, so we're gonna head over to Little D. Little D, what do you got on the scare scale for this one?
Okay, so this isn't the first time I've seen this.
I wanted to preface that too. This isn't my first time either.
Yeah, because Anthony Cousins, I love everything he does, and I cannot wait for Frogman 2.
Frogman fucks again.
Yeah. So for my story, it's gonna be a 1. I like, you know, this world that they kind of have, and in a way, it gives me like a Fallout vibe to it because of the color palette and the sound, and even like the title cards and everything. It gives me like that type of like setting, which I really love. I love like 50s, 60s feel. So that's really, really good. Now for creature, I don't know where I want to go with this because I don't know if I want to necessarily call her a creature. But I know that she technically is our creature for the story. So I think in that space, I have to give it points. So I'm gonna give her a 1 because I like her vibe, and it's like what happens to her. It's like it's awful, and if she has to live with that, I feel like that's pretty impactful. And also, she's obviously terrifying everybody around her, other than this guy. So yeah, so she's inflicting some sort of something to this world that I really really like. Atmosphere, I'm gonna give this a 1, and that kind of ties into the feel that I had with like this Fallout vibe, this 50s, 60s, and the color palette. It really gets me in to this world that they're in and how they live, and the school bus and how people are around her. I really, really like that. Runtime, it's gonna be a 1. It's below 10 minutes, and it uses all of its time wisely. I also really like how the first time I watched it, I thought this was going to be no speaking roles at all. Like it was like no one will save you when we did that movie, that Alien movie. I thought it was going to be like that, but it wasn't. We did get some vocalization in there, and then for the effects, I might give that one a 0.75 because I am greedy and I want more. But for what they did great, and I had a fun time with it. So that leaves me with a 4.75.
As
Hell
well.
yeah.
Nice. Yeah, Little D, she's a creature, but she's not a monster.
Yes,
I see
that's
what you're
where
saying,
I was
where
like, I need to give it points. I'm like, I
Yeah.
can't just categorize everything as a monster. So I'm like, I need to get that mentality out of my brain.
Yeah. Anna, let's hear it, man. What is your run through the scare scale?
So for story, I gave this a 1. I would also like to know what this little girl's dad's up to. If he's like making that in my head canon, that's what it is. Like he's experimenting on her or something. So I like that. And this was just, I mean, the title alone is enough to suck you in. You're like, what?
Yeah.
But no, that's not a bad thing. Creature, I gave a 0.52 just because kind of the same way you're feeling, like she's a creature, but she's not a monster. You know, she's not necessarily bad, but she is our creature. So, and I guess just because I wasn't necessarily scared. I wasn't really scared of her, even though the effects were cool. I was like, oh, like even little D said, or Big D said, they kiss teeth, and then the heart comes up on them. You know, and it's so cute. You know, you're not scared at that moment, even though it should be something that's frightening. So I gave that a 0.5. And atmosphere, I gave a 0.52. Just because, once again, I'm not scared, but I love the setting and everything else about it. The color palette, like we talked about. Runtime is also a 1 because, I mean, it's just a great runtime. And the effects are a 1 too. The blood squirting, the face, the look of the faces, all that was great. And I definitely appreciated that. So that gives me a 4 overall,
Nice.
which gives us a 4.5 altogether.
Nice.
So
Blood squirts.
Thinking about that, how normal is this in that universe?
I know, because why did the guy's face blow off and he's okay?
Why is no one affected by the fact this girl's face exploded?
Yeah, they just make fun of her like it's some kind of, you know, illness or something.
It's a Tuesday. Yeah, I don't know. All right, so Anna, you're gonna round us up. You brought the longest.
It's been a while
shorts
since we've had a long short like this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's heck.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. I wasn't here for that, so I skirted by.
Lucky.
No blood squirts in that one.
Yeah, very true. So I actually pulled this one from my list, and I watched it, and I liked it, but it's not the kind of horror we've necessarily had on here before. I mean, we've had stuff like Fish Wild, well, Wild Animal, but that was spoiler free. You know,
Yeah.
I would kind of bunch this one in with those a little bit, just because it's more psychological horror and like real world horror. You know,
Well, horror is a broad genre with many subgenres. So
very true, very true.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
other than us touching wild animal, I feel like that was the first one that we've really hit on with that subgenre on Tales.
Sure.
And it's so funny because I've been seeing ads for that new show on Netflix called Pulse. And it's got Willa Fitzgerald in it, who was in Strange Darling and Fall of the House of Usher. She was in the Scream TV series. She's actually a really good actress. And there's a guy in it, the lead guy, total babe. And I'm like, where do I know him from? He's the guy in Fragile.com.
Oh,
interesting.
Ducko, or however you want to say it.
Ducko,
yeah. And he was also in... Did you guys watch The Flight Attendant, that show on HBO Max with
with
Kaylee Cuoco? He was in that too.
Is he the guy that gets killed?
Yes.
Okay.
I think so. Because that was actually an instance with that one where I watched the miniseries first and then I read the book, and the book is worse. Like, they actually made the book better with the miniseries, I thought. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. So I don't know if maybe like subconsciously I was just like, I want to hit this week, or I don't know why, but it was witchy things that I was just thinking of this guy, and then I picked that and I was like, that's fucking crazy. So this starts out, this is a story about high school teenagers. Our main girl Mara is kind of nerdy, I would say, like less popular, kind of tag-along-y. She's in this play. They're getting like good reaction. It seems kind of like somewhat improv, because the hot guy she's partnered with is like, oh yeah, they're going crazy. Quick, kiss me. And before she can really react, he does it. And then we flash to after the play, and they're all kind of at this local hangout skate rink where they're having milkshakes. And so she's kind of like smitten by him. She obviously had a crush on him beforehand, and then that happened, and now she's kind of created her own little fantasy per se. And so she approaches him and asks him to prom, and he's like, oh, well, you know, that kiss was just for show, right? Like, we're acting. That's what actors do. And she doesn't really take to it. It's like, she plays it off well, but like, she gets with her friends and they're like, hey, we're gonna go skate one more time or do something, and she doesn't really have any money. So it's like, when she's finally alone, she can kind of like let it all out and cry. And enter hot guy Ducko walks over and sees her, and he's obviously a lot older than her, but he's so charming, so nice, like so I guess understanding of the fact, and he noticed her when nobody else would. Like spoiler alert, this is totally me in high school. I am this girl 100%. So I also find it relatable because of that. So, and then he sits down and he's like, all right, this girl does not know him. And he's like, we're in a movie. Tell me, what's my line? And she just lets it all out, how she hates this guy and she's so mad. And he basically just sweet talks her, and he talks about how he's a movie director and he's got this project going on, and he thinks she'd be great for it. And it's kind of gives little porny vibes at first until we find out that's not necessarily it. So she goes home, she's scrolling on Instagram, and she sees like he had asked another girl to prom, and not only that, but like filmed it and made it a reel and posted it. So
the same night.
The same night, yeah. So she's upset. She texts dude and says, hey, it's me from the skating rink. Tell me more. So it's basically what it all boils down to. It's a website. And he even clarifies to her, it's not, you don't have to take your clothes off. It's nothing like that. It's nothing sexual. It's just, you're crying. You're a beautiful crier. And like the whole time she's talking to him on the phone, like he's in her room, like she's kind of seeing him. And that happens a few times in this, which is what I really like. It's also another way to utilize your actors, and he's a great actor. So, you know, all the actors in this were great, even the kids. And this had a lot of Carrie vibes too. So she ends up like he's like, we'll just do a trial run. And I'll be there to monitor it just to make you feel more comfortable if you feel any, he's reassuring her that this is all okay. It's like totally normal. And so she gets on the cam and it's a guy. And not only is it a guy, but they're talking to her and something that she didn't realize was going to happen. And I also thought it was kind of funny that he named her Star. And I went back to like Mia Goth. I'm a fucking star.
I'm a fucking star.
And the guy's like, hey, are you okay? Like, is it a boy? And like, he's just, this random stranger wants to see her cry and ask her like, why, like, what's wrong? And it's like, it goes back to any kind of fetish. Anybody who has a fetish with someone crying, they may be a masochist and want them to inflict pain on themselves to make them cry, which she actually does later. But some people might be just nice perverts and want to be like, hey, why are you crying? That that turns me on. Tell me about it and I'll give you money. So welcome to the world of OnlyFans. So not only is it like her first experience wasn't that bad. This was a nice guy, for lack of better words. Not a creep, like outright. And so Ducko's like blowing her head up. You're going to be a star. This is incredible. And then we got like a montage. Not only that, like she's getting deposits of like $1,000. And this happens a few times in this short. I couldn't imagine that kind of money at 17. I would be doing what she's doing, buying her friends milkshakes, like everything's on me. And like there comes a point where you can't spend so much money. Your parents are going to be like, where the fuck are you getting all this stuff? Are you stealing it? Like what's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So more cam stuff starts happening. She's crying, but as time progresses, much like it happens, you're gonna move on and you're gonna kind of get over it. And she's getting over this other guy essentially with Ducko and like her infatuation with him. And she's just young and impressionable, and she's not taking into consideration that this guy's 30 and she's in high school, and that's like, it's not even like a few years older. You can kind of skirt by that sometimes, be like, but this is like,
It's almost
no.
15 years older than her.
Yeah.
Shoot. Well, I'm talking about like if you're 18, 19, and you say you've been together since you were like a freshman and a junior, and you were both underage, and then
I'm talking about this girl and Ducko.
Exactly.
No.
That's a big no. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and also like, people say money can't buy happiness, but I mean, money makes you pretty happy. And when you get a lot of free money like that just for crying in front of a camera, it makes it makes it even more appealing. So she gets on cam one night, and this fucker, it's a guy, and and he's like, hey, we've got an ugly one. So rude. And so oh gosh. So then the guy that runs down the stairs and comes and looks at her is a guy that she knows and is in her like friend circle, for lack of better words. It's just like the asshole jock.
Yeah.
And they recognize each other. She freaks out. He's like, oh, well, she could be pretty hot if she got a nose job like Kylie Jenner. And and then she slams the laptop shut, freaks out, and they're at the skating rink next, and they run into each other, and he makes a comment about it, and she's like, you don't say anything to your girl or anybody else about me, or I'm gonna let them know like your freaky new habit. You're watching girls cry on cams. Like, what kind of pervert are you? So she convinces Ducko to go to prom with her because she has no date, and this is actually when he comments on the fact, I'm 30. Like, they're not going to let me in. Well, where there's a will, there's a way, I guess, because even he says, he does end up going with her. And he's like, we found a small window, but I got in. And, I mean, he's a good-looking guy, so all the teenage girls are like, oh, Mara, you've got a really hot date. And it just seems so great for her. And then she goes to get a drink, and she's talking to the girls, and that's when they say, I recognize him. He sold my mom a couch. He works at a furniture store. And Mara's like, no, he's a film director. And they're like, no, he works at a furniture store. So then about that time, after they had also told her that Molly's date stood her up, she looks over and he's preying on yet another girl who's crying. And this time, instead of using movies as a reference, he's using books, because this girl is like a book nerd and prefers to read and watch movies, and just doing the same formula with her that he did with Mara. And so there's kind of a confrontation. He plays it off real well, like, oh, so you're jealous. Well, how about this? I'll film you first, all by yourself, because he wanted them to do a joint cam session, both of them crying together and talking about their boy problems, essentially.
One standing over the other, just crying into the other eyes.
Dude, shoot. This is how girls are, like, this is how they get into that kind of stuff. Like, it's, yeah, we'll get into that in a minute. So
okay.
He takes her aside, and they're like behind the curtains pretty much, and pervert Jock has the app open, and it says Star is online, because he's about to film her, like, pretty much behind the curtain in the gym, like, while the prom's going on. Asshole goes and hooks his phone up to the projector and displays her entire session crying, like, for everybody to see. Like I said, total Carrie vibes, like being made fun of, humiliated in front of the whole school. She walks by, she sees it happen, and he's still filming her the whole time, because he wants to get her reaction, and he wants to see her cry more. This is just money. All he's seeing is dollar signs. He's not seeing a person and someone with feelings, that kind of thing. So there was a few times where she was having to inflict pain on herself and make her cry. She was flipping herself with a rubber band, and that wasn't enough. She slammed her hand in the door, and that was awful. And then now she busts into the bathroom, and she's running scalding hot water under her hand, trying to make herself cry, but she can't, even with everything going on. And the last shot of the movie is we get her look up, or the short, I should say. She looks up at the camera in the mirror, pretty much, and then it ends. And in my headcanon, she goes and, like, destroys everyone somehow in that gym. Like, she pulls a total Carrie, and it's a good for her moment. Like, I need a part 2 to this. I really do. So yeah, there's a lot to unpack with this, and I wanted, back to kind of what Little D was saying, I wanted to bring something different as well. I wanted to change it up from what I've been picking, and before I even went on YouTube to search for shorts, I just went to my list, and there's one I've been thinking about picking. I'm not going to tell y'all which one, because you can see the list, but I ended up picking this one. And I was like, okay, this is going to bring a totally different vibe and kind of conversation. So yeah, that's why I ended up picking it. And it is the longest, a little under 22 minutes. So, to the scare scale.
Here we go.
I am giving this story a 1, because even though it's very current and very real world horror that we could all experience today, I still found it interesting. And it's probably because, like I said, I was that girl in high school. So it's so relatable. And the acting was really good. I just wish we could have got that Carrie moment, though. So, like, then it would have turned into, like, a school shooting kind of thing. Maybe she just sets them on fire. I'd been cool with that. Let her set the school on fire. Little arson never hurt anybody. That's going to get me on a list. Cut that.
Her tears are made of acid.
Literally. Oh, dude, that'd been cool, right? Plot twist, she's an alien.
There it is.
Creature, I'm definitely giving a 1 to. And it's not a creature with fangs or fur or scales or anything weird. This is a creature that walks among us every day. And you can meet people like this where you least expect it. Like someone who is so charming and so nice and understanding can just have total ulterior motives for you, especially if you're a woman. It's way more relatable. as far as that's concerned. No offense, guys, but I mean it is.
What did we do?
I'm just here, man.
Yeah.
So the creature's getting a 1 just because of that. Atmosphere, I'm going to give a 0.52 because I wouldn't say there was any dread. There wasn't any blood and guts horror. But the tension was there. Like, you felt for this girl and you wanted to see, like, how far she was going to take it before she finally said, enough's enough. And if she does. Runtime, I'm going to give a 0.52 because it is a smidge on the long side. And I do feel like some of it could have been cut. You know, like maybe like 2 minutes could have been cut down. There's some extended scenes, some transitional shots like of her in the room that I just feel like just was there to take up time and wasn't necessarily needed unless it's just showing us her progression of like this leading her into a depression, which that should be obvious anyways. I don't feel like we need to necessarily see those at that extra time. And effects, I'm going to give a 1-2 just because that girl actress, I should have looked her name up. She had to go there and maybe they were fake tears, but she made it. I mean, there were moments where that one guy was like, bullshit, and close, like he knew she was faking. Like moments like that might have been fake, but there were some times where I felt like she was really genuinely crying. And not only that, but the design of the website, I'm counting all that into it. Like, that's not a real thing. Yeah, we've got OnlyFans, but this was made just for this short. It's called Fragile.com. That's what the website's named. So, just from that perspective, I'm going to give it a 1. And also, there was some cool, like, camera effects. Like, with, like, glitches. Like, webcam kind of glitches, like, actually on the screen with her. So, all in all, that gives me a 4 out of 5 for Fragile.com.
Nice.
Little D, we're going to head to you.
Okay, I'm going to do my tear scale because they have a tear scale in there.
Oh, I see what you did there.
So,
That's clever. Big D's like,
Fuck!
so,
Why did I think of that?
No, it was a long one, but I enjoyed it a lot. And, you know, when it does come to long ones, it's very like, all right,
the quote.
is it over yet sometimes? But this one,
Yeah.
I didn't really feel that.
Good.
So, story, I'm definitely giving this a 1. I feel like this could possibly be like a TV show, like an episode of like a Tales or a Creep Show-esque type thing. Like it was like kind of this jutted in there, like, hey, this is what's we got this week, blah blah blah. Like I'll watch another episode.
It's
on this.
already
Part 2.
It's already 22 minutes. Add another 22 minutes on the end of it. Give us that Carrie showdown, esque showdown, and then make it like an episode of Creep Show or something.
Yeah, I
make
would
her
love
an
that.
alien for shits and giggles. But yeah,
Hell
anyways.
yeah, let's do it, man. And then for Creature, I'm gonna give it a 1-2, and it's not just because of the dude. I think also this website, in the way of it being made, it's obviously used in a malicious way. I would definitely say it's nothing good. It's literally for this guy to profit. You know how it is like in the real world, like you're saying, like we got like OnlyFans and stuff like that, where people are being used and they're not reaping all the rewards from it. So it's that, and also everybody behind it, and you got the school too is awful. She's definitely in our eyes that we see, she's like an outcast, and I think a lot of people can relate to that. You said earlier, Anna, that you related to her, and I'm sorry that you had to deal with that in high school, and high school is awful.
Yeah,
because kids are awful, and this definitely highlights how awful kids really can be, and not just kids, the adults too, who you meet along the way. So definitely a 1 on that. Atmosphere. So there is dread in this, but I feel like with a story like this, you don't need so much because it's already making you so fucking depressed.
right.
You're like,
That's what I'm saying. I picked what you were searching for this week.
yeah. It's like, why? Why is this girl doing this? When is she gonna get out of it? How is she gonna get out of it? For that, I'm gonna give it a 1.
Very nice.
And then runtime, you guys know what I say. If you're gonna have something that's over 15 minutes, it better be fucking good. And this is very fucking good. I'm giving
Good.
it a 1.
Hell
It's
yeah.
good.
Good.
And for effects, this is a tough one because, like, yeah, there are visual effects. You're also creating this website and you're making all these other things, which I'll lump into the effects because you have to make all these things and have it work in some sort of way. But also, I like the ending where she's walking and they have it on the big screen and we see it
Yeah.
through that, and then we see it through like the POV of the school. I thought that was really good. As minimal as they are, but they were used very effectively. I'm gonna give it a 1.
No fucking way. A 5?
So it's a 5. It's long.
Wow.
The story is very impactful. It's very
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah.
I know this is relatable to probably a lot of people, whether you are in that type of business or not. But just the aspect of being a kid
Yeah.
and maybe being used in some
School
sort
sucks.
of way, or whatever it may be. This is a very, very relatable short because it is very of our worldly. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah,
this
it's real life.
It's planted
Yeah.
here
Yeah.
where we could potentially be here. And I wanted to ask,
Relatable.
would you, if presented upon you, someone came to you and maybe didn't see you in an upset way, but they were offering you to do something like this, Big D, would you do this?
I am an ugly crier. I don't know though. I don't know. I don't know if I can exploit myself like that. Would I have to wear a shirt?
Sure. Whatever you want.
Okay, then yes, I would do it. If I'm
about
wearing
you?
a shirt.
How about you, Anna?
My thing is, I don't cry a lot.
We better
Like when I
start cutting off
cry,
your feet.
I let shit build up and then it just explodes and I'll
So
cry
you're like
for
a 1 month 1 month online type of girl. They'll go and I'll cry
yeah,
once
I
once
make
a
it
month.
worth
You
it.
run a marathon, yeah. A streamathon, yeah.
I mean, so I actually do follow a couple of sex workers on Instagram because I love their content and they're just fucking hot, So
Nothing wrong with that.
and it fascinates me that there are women that can be so open and out there like that. Because I'm not. Like, I mean, I post a lot. I'm a poster. Y'all know if you follow me on Instagram. But I'm not like that. I'm a sweatshirt old granny kind of gal. You know what I mean?
You probably look at Anna's pocketbook and she's got those fucking strawberry candies in there.
I
She's got
would
more
do.
sweatshirts.
I would do. Yeah, I got Kleenex and baby wipes. Yeah, like when we go to Salem, I've got the mom bag. If y'all need anything, Band-Aids, ibuprofen, like that's totally me. But I don't know. I don't know. Possibly, I think also with me being a single mom, like I think it would depend on my situation. Like if something terrible happened and I had no other choice, I would not put myself above it to do that to take care of my kid. So there's that
There you
too.
go. Yeah. What about you, little D?
I mean, I'm not a crier either, but I'll just go into in the bathroom and just get some splash some water over here and just.
And
Here we go.
you get called out. You get called
Yeah,
out.
you'd be-
Like,
That's okay.
Bullshit.
That's
Yeah,
okay. I want the negative press. Let's do it. No, I'd do it, especially if I had to, support my kid. If I didn't have any means for it,
Right.
I'd probably do it because it's like the guy says, it's nothing sexual or super exploitative like that. It's like you're literally just crying. I mean, yeah, people can talk to you, but you can just also just mute your computer and not have to listen to them. That's another thing. So no, I'd probably do it at some point. Who knows? We all hit rock bottom, and we gotta find some way to get ourselves out. But
Well, the
yeah.
way this economy's going, we might all be on OnlyFans before pretty long.
fragile.com.
Just cut a bunch of onions, yeah.
Right. All right, Big D. What about you? How you feeling?
All right, so this story, well, actually, this short I'm not new to.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you did bring that up, didn't you?
I sent it to you.
This guy.
I
long
remember
time ago.
that.
Yeah, I watched it. I was like, you should check this one out. The story I really like, and what I want is what you keep talking about, a Carrie moment. Like this movie, the short ends with her looking in the mirror. I feel like it'd have been a little just this much more impactful if she went like that or something and the mirror cracked. And then then if that's it, then I'm like, okay, then something's about to fucking go down. Like she's about to get some revenge on it. But I do like this story a lot. Like you see the progression from point A to point B. You're right. This asshole at the beginning, like there's two people next to them in the spotlight that are kissing, and that's what these people are eating up. And this guy's like, quick, let's do that too, so we can fucking get the same reaction.
Right.
And he takes advantage of her and does that shit. The story for me is a 1. I like the whole concept of this short a lot. Creature, I'm right there with you guys. This dude is preying on these women. Though he is not, he is a monster, essentially.
Yeah.
You know, like he is the one, like and you said it best, like he's walking amongst us. Like this guy is looking for just the money makers. And it shows how easily he goes from this girl to the next girl in the same setting. Like it's literally like he's not even trying to hide it.
Yeah.
You know, so Creature for me is a 1 as well. Atmosphere. I dig the atmosphere of this one a lot. The high school setting, the skating rink, in her bedroom by herself. Now let me ask you this: she's in high school, right?
Yeah.
Assuming she lives with her parents. She is a very, very loud crier.
She's got some of
Good point.
She's
the
got
foam on the wall.
insulation. Yeah, she's got like, moving blankets around.
Don't worry, Mom.
You don't think like at the end of the day, why aren't the parents concerned?
Good point.
You know,
Maybe they are and we just don't see it.
I don't know. We should have with this 22-minute short.
Good point. Yeah. Touche.
But the atmosphere is a 1 for me.
Okay.
Runtime, I just brought it up. It's 22 fucking minutes, but it doesn't drag, right? So there are parts you said if it cut out 2 minutes, I'd be okay. So my runtime is a 0.75.
Okay.
I think with the amount of time it took to build up the world from her encountering Ducko for the first time to the prom was paced well enough.
Yeah. It was.
And then the effects. The VFX for the website screen that we see a lot of, which it looks really good. There is one girl that she clicks on that's crying that has mascara running down her face.
Yeah.
And she does that, yeah.
That's when she gets called out. But that's makeup. You know, it looks pretty good. When she smashes her hand in the door, you see her knuckles are all busted.
Very true, yep. Very true.
So effects are going to be a 0.75 for me as well.
Very nice.
Which gives me a 4.5 for the short.
That's great. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. Plus 4.
I wanted her to cut off her hand, man. I wanted her to go like really
Just
straight.
amputate something? Get the fuck out of here.
That
like,
also gives us a 4.5 aggregate for this one as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
And what
She
is
could
the
have pulled out a nail. She could have been like, oh.
Ooh, yeah. That would have been fun to see the progression of how far she took it pain-wise in order to get herself to cry. This could be a movie. Just make the movie.
She runs outside and gets hit by a car, and she's just filming, oh, I'm broken.
And she comes back up to the fucking room like this.
For the whole episode, it's a 4. It's a 4 overall.
Wow. There we go. Hell yeah. But yeah, she can't cry no more. She's all dried up.
Shoo.
She's all dried up. She can't cry
I'm
no
just
more.
picturing her paralyzed, but getting hit by a car.
That might be too comical in a full body cast.
Or she's like she
Going
looks like
up
the dude
stairs.
from looks like the dude from Beetlejuice that's on the fucking thing that
Yeah. Oh,
the director of this is Allison Eve Hammersley, and the writer is Brittany Minehevar.
are they
So Lena Waithe was actually an executive producer on this. I just saw that. You know who she is?
Who is that?
She's Cynthia Erivo's wife or girlfriend, but she's known for other stuff. I just can't think of it right now.
She ain't
She's a
part
producer.
of Frogman.
She's a producer, Masters of None, Ready Player One, Queen and Slim. Yeah, so she's in filmmaking too. But yeah, I know her because she's with Cynthia Erivo. Elphaba.
Nice.
Nice. Oh, Elphaba.
So yeah, this is like a female made short, which I dig.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah. Hell yeah! But no, this is a solid tales. But guys, what are you guys wearing?
Not a Tails shirt.
Merch. Hey, why is my camera backwards compared to yours? I was thinking that earlier.
I don't know. Because you're the backwards man. Backwards man.
Backwards.
I think mine is backwards because it's facing me.
Mine's definitely mirrored, so my stuff.
You
is
two are
backwards.
mirrored because that's what I'm looking at. Is you guys
Oh, okay.
technology. But what are you guys wearing? What is?
I'm
We're
wearing
wearing
this
some-
sweet Tales from the Barrens sweatshirt.
Our logo shirt.
Fuck yeah. Looking good.
Fuck yeah, kid.
Fucking yeah, kid. Anna,
Yeah.
what do we have cooking for next week? Or the week after? 2 weeks.
It's in 2 weeks.
Oh,
It's
okay.
Salem. 2 weeks till Salem. By the time this comes out, it'll be 1 week till Salem.
Oh, that's what I was.
Yeah,
I guess
that is
alluding
true.
to.
That's what you were getting.
That's true. Time's
So-
weird.
We're very
Yeah.
excited to all hang out, go to the Horror Fest, watch some shorts, watch some movies, see Salem. It's going to be an experience. The best
Yes.
experience.
And just so everybody knows, Anna has a book with a bunch of shit that we're going to do in it. Mm-hmm. She's
Have an
planned
itinerary.
out the itinerary for the fest. So
I've printed out the map and
Hell yeah.
glued it in my book.
I love that.
it's right next to her grandma candy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I'm gonna put that in my bag.
Yeah, my little pocketbook.
I'm gonna take notes.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. It's going to be a ton of fun. Salem Horror Fest, we were gifted press passes, so we will be there during for the duration of the event, interviewing people, watching shorts. It's going to be a ton of fun. Keep your eye out on socials for that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Anna, what do you got cooking over on Give Me Back?
Anna April's coming to a close. By the time this comes out, I believe we'll have dropped Kill Bill Volume 1. And that was an absolute banger of an episode. The week before that, the fellows were on for Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon. That was a great crossover episode. We're heading into May, where it's just kind of a free-for-all. We're going to see what happens kind of thing. So, yeah. It's been a banger month over there, too.
Spit and see where it lands.
Pretty much, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So over on Flicks and Friends, we're in the middle of our AB season. N for Nightbreed is coming
Very
out
nice.
next week. Going to be a ton of fucking. I love that movie. Paul does not love that movie.
I love that movie.
I've never
Lil
seen it.
D loves it. Anna, it's a good one. Dr. Decker is probably in my top 5 favorite movie villains of all time,
That mask, man.
and he's played by R.I.P. Cronenberg.
Daddy Cronenberg?
Yeah, but he's R.I.P. So
No.
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 So we will also have dropped our spoiler-free episode of Fishwife. No, not Fishwife. Wild Animal,
I forgot. Yeah. Sorry, Beth.
Yes.
from Beth Park. That was a ton of fun. And then we also this week we put out an episode for a movie called The Wraith.
We did.
So much
I
fun.
love that movie.
I love it now, too.
Wait a minute. Now that I think about it, is that how Mike Tyson says the race?
I'm going to see myself out now and
The Wraith.
have fun. Oh, man. We have too much fun over here, guys. I swear.
The Wraith.
breathe, dude. This shit's so fucking good. I gotta make it. Charlie wants
Tears.
memes.
I'm crying now. That's how I cry. Is I laugh. Now I could make some money on y'all.
That's giving me flashbacks to when we did Castle Freak.
Oh man.
Oh goodness. All right, little D, what do we got to do to get out of here, man?
Say bye.
Go support. We're gonna say bye. Make sure you go support their shows. As always, if you're listening on audio, make sure you guys are sharing, liking, commenting on there. Same on as YouTube. Subscribe, share, comment, and just have a blast. Go support indie horror and cinema. Support their shows. Support everybody's shows, and go make Big D laugh even more because it's very funny. But if you guys are going to be in Salem, around Salem Horror Fest, come see us. We will be out and about, and I'm looking forward to it. But other than that, we'll see everybody on the next one.
Bye.
Later.